Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome back to another episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, the National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, joined today by three other lovely folks. But of course, before we get to them, we got to tell you that this fine broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at TechWeld. Look, when you're thinking about promotional items, stellar customer service, made in the USA products and business solutions, you got to think TechWeld. Look, they're award-winning promotional product supplier, having received the Distributor Choice Award in the sunglass category and the SAGNY Supplier of the Year Award. You got to check them out at TechWeld. That's TEKWELD.com and find the customer service that you deserve and the products that you need. You got to think TechWeld. Like their custom packaging, for instance, at TechWeld, they like to create new every day with their custom packaging division, and that's a great example of that. Each box takes on a life of its own, and they can work to meet your custom specifications regarding packaging. Think TechWeld for promotional product needs. TechWeld is the leading supplier of promotional products with a huge inventory of made in the USA items available for to help distributors grow their bottom line today. Visit TechWeld.com and check out their drinkware, sanitizer, kit options, and much, much more. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Why don't we say hey to Stephen McFadden? How are you, Stephen?
Hey, doing well. I'm back in my office. I'm not remote for the first time in a couple weeks, so that is good.
Yeah. It feels good, I'm sure.
It does. I got to experience a little bit of supplier life, and I don't envy it.
How tired are you right now?
I'm a little tired, and I also got to work with unions for the first time with doing trade show stuff, and that was an experience.
How long did you wait for your booth?
I actually had to cancel my flight that I had that evening and move it to the next day because it took 5.5 hours for our pallet to show up at our post show. Yeah.
That's why we always have to, at least one person has to stay at least one extra night just to make sure somebody's there to receive the booth.
I also got my first labor stoppage, which is something I learned about because I was using an Allen wrench. So, it do be like that sometimes. So.
It do be like that. Meg Erber, how are you doing today? You're looking fancy fine. You got home late last night from WLC.
I did. I'm like, I'm still getting my voice back. I've been gone for almost a week. I am so exhausted. Recap, went to Big Slick last week. Oh my gosh, you guys all missed out. Everybody that was not there missed out. It was so cool. The whole experience from being able to be part of something so special. They raised $3.5 million. Yeah.
I didn't know we had Bane on the podcast. Oh wait, no, that's usually Stephen. Stephen is Bane.
We raised $3.5 million, so that's really cool. And then we went to WLC, and I taught a women's self-defense seminar where Dale Denham, as you can see by the post on social media, he got to be my attacker, and then I got to speak at a session, and I talked about facing your fears, and it was really incredible. And I'm telling you, the women that I got to meet at this thing that I already didn't know, it was just absolutely incredible. It was life-changing. Highly recommend anyone that hasn't gone or in the past that they look to it next year. So it was really, really good. But yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good. I was going to say, by the looks of that eye that you keep talking about, though, I think Dale might have gotten the best of you in the women's self-defense seminar.
No, it's fine.
Not sure.
Allergies.
It's like a cheap shot in.
One-eye Meg right here.
Just kidding. That has nothing to do with the self-defense seminar. I'm sure you did a great job. Dale has already admitted defeat immediately within 1 second. So that is all good. We are joined today by a very special guest, Jason Liburdi, and very excited to talk about self-promos, what you guys are doing, and basically why we don't just throw or slap a logo on something and call it a day. So, but Jason, it is customary for us to give our special guest a good 3 to 4 minutes to introduce yourself. Tell us all things Jason, what maybe how you got started in the industry and what you've been up to since. Take it away, sir.
Oh my gosh, where to start? Well, of course, I'm Jason, and I am currently at Thumbprint regional headquarters north of Asheville, North Carolina. It's where I call my home. But I started in the industry maybe about 8 years ago, working for another company that got absorbed by an even larger company, and I made my way over to Thumbprint. They're free thinkers. They embrace technology. They are super progressive. And I figured for someone like me, who's a marketer by trade, it'd be a great place to land. And I do marketing at Thumbprint. It's kind of a rare thing to have at a distributor, someone who's kind of like high level doing marketing stuff. But I think it's essential. I love working with the clients that we have and talking marketing with them, especially B2B clients, tech clients, and it gives me inspiration and thoughts and ideas of what we can do to demonstrate to our clients and prospects every day of how we can create value for them, how we can get them excited about what can be done with branded merch and the experiences that kind of come with that. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I don't know if that's 3 to 4 minutes, but
hey, it gets the job done. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. So listen,
quick question: did you always want to be in the promotional product industry, or did you grow up wanting to?
I've always been in the B2B marketing world, and so I used branded products. And when the opportunity came about to enter this world, I was, some might say naively, really attracted to it. And I was like, oh yeah, this looks really awesome. I know what I use branded products for. I know what it was like being on the other side. And I felt like I could offer that perspective, to a distributor and say, yeah, this is something that's really going to be meaningful versus, nah, this is something that's not, and just kind of understanding from an end user standpoint, what competition for marketing resources, for employee engagement resources looks and feels like, and how we need to, be bringing ideas and innovation from the branded merchandise side to our clients at all times.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So listen, while all 4 of us are wearing very nice apparel.
Yeah. Thank you for repping the gear.
Look, why don't you tell us a little bit about this? I've got the URL sort of scrolling there at the bottom of the screen, vibe.thumbprint.com. But tell us a little bit about what we are wearing today and what this is all about, how it got started.
Oh my gosh, this might be a longer story longer story than where I came from and my experience in the industry. But, it all started innocently enough. It started with, well, we need new self-promo gear, right? But we figured, well, while we're at it, let's try and, send a message to our clients and prospects about, what branded merch can do and how it can kind of elevate the experience and interaction with their own brands. So, we decided we want to make these points to our clients, and we kind of went through this whole series of a big thought process. It kind of, it's like classic Thumbprint fashion. We take everything to the nth degree. But it all started with this acknowledgement, and you all made this point just a few minutes ago, that, people don't necessarily want to wear your brand. We love the Thumbprint brand. We think it's cool. But someone else, like one of our clients, may look at it and be like, meh, okay, great. And unfortunately, that's why, the bulk majority of branded products end up in the landfill and end up wasted because they don't mean anything unless they have some sort of utility, in which case maybe you have a chance at having some shelf life of your brand, in someone's hands. So we decided right out of the gate that we wanted to make our logo the secondary message, and instead focus on something that was like more universal and bigger. And then the second objective was we wanted to go next level with our targeting. I think, as distributors, we get into this mode of, well, we can take care of your branded products, and we look at it from a company perspective. But we really wanted to dive deeper and say, okay, well, what can branded merch do for these specific applications like marketing and people ops? So for marketing, check out what branded merch can do when you incorporate it into your account-based marketing campaigns. People ops, look at how we can dial up engagement when you include this in your, recognition or onboarding programs. So we want to demonstrate some expertise, not just in creating branded products, but creating branded products for specific applications, business applications within our clients. And then, we wanted to show also that you could use these branded products to communicate. It's not just about reciprocation. With the advent of COVID, events went away. And so a lot of B2B marketers and folks doing, engagement programs, they started using gifting platforms, which is all well and good. But, all you're getting out of that really is reciprocation. You get a Roomba vacuum and you give me 30 minutes of your time. Well, what if those products could communicate an experience associated with your brand about what it means to do business with your company? So that's huge. And so then, we kind of came up with this whole vibe theme. It's relatable, it's inspirational, it's conversational. And we thought this would be a great way to just sort of have some fun. And then, of course, we had to pull out all the stops with design and packaging because, at the end of the day, people want branded merch that has a retail feel and not a promo look. So we went crazy with the packaging. We went crazy with the decoration. And none of this was like, custom that we did direct over in China or anything like this. This is all stuff that, our supplier friends and partners offer. And we just took advantage of it and leveraged it to show clients, this is what can be done. And then finally, of course, we had to throw in the giving aspect because we just know how important that is. And we thought, all right, this is just too good of an opportunity. Let's have 4 different causes, one associated for each vibe, that kind of falls along the line of those vibes. And so that's what we did there.
So Meg, I see you held up the custom packaging there, and I think I messed up when I placed my order.
So normally this. Oh, go ahead.
You have to check the box to get that, right? Because I don't think I checked that, and so mine didn't come in that nice container.
Well,
she ordered Headwear.
Yeah, the sweatshirt came in a nice box, like a really nice box, and it had just the stuff all over it. But before that, was something that you said, Jason. If that brand or that product could communicate with your brand or your messaging, that really resonated with me because you're putting these statements and these messages on this apparel and then these water bottles, and it's really to communicate for the give back or the give back component, right? And so can you talk to that a little bit more about what each vibe is and all the give back components to it? Each one?
Yeah, so we associated each vibe with a department or a function. So Be Bold loosely is oriented towards marketing, and then Be Engaged is oriented towards whether it's client experience or whether it's customer service, whatever that may be. You're repping Be Kind, and that's oriented towards people ops, and then Be Clutch is targeted towards people in supply chain. And so we said, okay, well let's pick causes that really embody that whole vibe, that notion. So Be Bold, goes to directly fund the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Be Engaged goes to teachers to help them buy supplies for their classroom so that they can engage their students, right? Be Kind goes to greater good charities, and that helps with fund a number of causes related to housing as well as pets, and ensuring that pets have the same care, that are housed, adoption, and all that other necessary stuff. And then Be Clutch goes to the First Responders Children's Foundation. So for our fallen first responders, this is those folks are clutch, and this helps those families that have lost loved ones, people who are primary breadwinners, helps keep them afloat.
Well, I think that's what's so unique about what you guys are doing with this particular project is, and I think it's really neat that we all selected a different cause as well. And I'm kind of interested to ask Meg and Stephen what drove your decision to get the shirt that you guys got, because I know for me it was the tagline. So bold was, bold fortune favors the bold, and it says that on the back of the shirt as well as the front with the design. But so that got me, and then of course the charity that you guys were giving to for Bold was another reason. Meg, what about you?
So I loved all the charities. I don't necessarily have like a specific one that I was like, oh, I need to buy it because of that, because I do a lot of philanthropy work and fundraising anyway. So it was all like equal playing field for me. I really liked the messaging. I really love So I bought this earlier, like a couple weeks ago, and same reason, Jeff. First off, I love red. It's one of my favorite colors. But like, you have to be bold, right? You have to be able to step outside the box. You have to be able to kind of be that. You just got to be bold and do stuff. Do things scared. I always talk about it. So I really like that. And then when we deceive, be kind. Mental illness is big right now, and it's a forefront of a lot of topics, and you never know what somebody's going through. People could be they could look strong on the outside and be, just a leader, but sometimes they still have things going on at home. So you always want to be kind to people, and I really like that messaging, and it's so cute. And last but not least, it's not like you put this stuff on regular products. These are really, really good quality products. Yeah. I actually messaged you, and I'm like, what sweatshirt brand is this? And these are really good quality, like fabrication. So good job on that.
Meg, do you want to tell us what sweatshirt that is?
It's not mine. I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
That's funny.
This is what I love this is what we're hoping for, is that a number of employees that we give this merch out to, come together in an office or on a Zoom call, and they're all repping different vibes, and they have this kind of conversation. And so not only is it cool for us because we're like the catalyst of this conversation, but it's great for the organizations. They're having these kind of cool conversations, and that's like the very definition of engagement. I mean, this is what companies hope for when they're getting their people together and trying to build a culture, is this whole experience that you all just demonstrated, just asking people about their different vibes.
Yep. Steven, what drove you to choose Clutch?
What's funny, because it was tagline based. I like the always deliver more than expected, and that's literally, in our company name is and more. That's kind of always been our thing, and especially now where things are leaning so much towards experiences and all the extras. I learned a little bit about was the green goldfish and purple goldfish mentalities of doing +1s for your customers, +1s for yourself, +1s for your employees, and that tagline just went right with it. I was like, that's awesome. Yeah, deliver a little bit more than expected. So,
yeah, very cool.
And Jason, why are you wearing yours?
I'm wearing mine just because I feel like, all the work that everybody put into this campaign, and there's so many people, both just at Thumbprint as well as supplier partners who really got into this project and, kept on coming back and saying, well, what if we did this? Well, let's do this, our creative partners as well. And it was just a long project. And so I just felt like, I kind of needed to rep this whole notion of being engaged and engaging with our customer base. So
Jason's got one of all of them, I'm sure, right?
That's funny. So I want to go back to one of the first things that you'd mentioned in the conversation about, people don't necessarily want to represent apparel, with your logo on it, especially, for a promotional product distributor, the purchaser and these end users, they don't necessarily want to wear, the distributor's logo on their apparel out and about. So it's a great idea, but I think what you guys did, elevating it, changing that. It's still branded Thumbprint. There's a little woven tag at the bottom that has the Thumbprint bug or icon on it. The inside color is also tagged with Thumbprint information. So, it's the messaging is there, the brand is there, but you guys changing that up and doing something different that somebody will actually want to wear out and about really makes things a bit different. So the thought that's behind that really elevates things quite a bit. So, Steven, I think you'll have actually a lot to contribute to that too, because I think some of the self promos and things like that you do are very creative and unique as well. So why is it important to really do something that's a little bit different rather than just putting your logo on something to hand out? Steven, we'll go with you first.
Oh, you want me to start? Yeah.
We'll go with you.
So, Jason mentioned something earlier, and you do have to have that combination of utility if you're going to have, your brand all over it, because it has to be able to stay around. And I think that's really what we've seen, even with what our customers are ordering. It's less is more. It went from tone on tone, printing to basically no printing, and just retail patterns and designs. And it's because, honestly, it's because they're using it now. Like end users will actually keep the items. They'll want to wear them. They'll want to use them because they like how they look. It matches their style, matches their vibe, right? And so when we've gone forward with self promo, we've done the same thing. Where it's some items are branded, whether it's in your face or discreetly, but if they are going to be in your face, it's going to have some utility. So at least it'll still be kept around. Apparel is definitely a trickier one. And I think that what you guys are doing at Thumbprint is right on. I mean, I have a funny story. I might have shared this on a podcast before, but we did a self-promo shirt, had our, big logo, like an icon logo on the front, but we had a tagline and it said, "Promos make me happy." And we thought that was really cool and people loved it. Well, knowing your market, right? We did some stuff in the automotive industry and I gave one to someone there that, like, we love these. Like, can we get more of these? I'm like, why do you guys like this shirt so much? Like, I was just curious. They're like, oh, your tagline. I'm like, does this mean something? He's like, yeah, promos are the names of the girls that we hire to stand with the cards when they take pictures. I'm like, oh, geez. I was like, that wasn't exactly what we had in mind. But, hey, like, sometimes taglines resonate with people for certain things. So
that's funny. That is funny.
But, we're seeing more of, like, when we do our self promos, when we do our mailers, it's an experience, right? It is a tagline that's fun, and it's products that work together that they can engage with, and inside, outside, on the go, in the yard, in the kitchen, right? It's having that utility and having multi-purpose stuff. So,
yeah, I have to agree with you on that kind of, because when you put it, we're in a branded merch industry, right? So that's what we do. I think it's our job as salespeople, educators, whatever, marketing people, to really get the message out, the story out about our brand. Because if you're just slapping a logo left chest, that's fine. That's great if you work there. Hey, I work here. This is who I am. But as somebody that might be giving away a T-shirt, I want that T-shirt or sweatshirt or hat or promotional product to be used and worn and get the most ROI from it, right? That's the whole goal of giving away merch. And if it just has your logo on it, it's probably not going to be worn as much. But if it has a message, or it has a tagline, or it has a really dope design on it, it's going to get worn more than not. And you're putting it on a good product, it's going to make the life, the shelf life of the product a lot longer.
Yeah.
Not only that, it really, like, we use promo to sell promo, right? When we do these self promos, so we really want them to be used. And I'll go back to the social media campaign that we're doing for Promotions East. Charity and I really worked together for a while to curate this trade show survival kit, and we didn't want to just stick the Promotions East logo on something. It's fine, it's great, yeah, it's for Promotions East, but, like, keep swimming, right? And then on the backpack, it was like, we've got your back. And watching all of our social media influencers come up with these really cool campaigns on their own and what they're doing, it's just so unique, and it's like, it's engaging and it's fun and people want to know more. But when you're just sticking a logo left chest, it's like, cool, I know who you are, let's move on. These are conversation starters. This is what it's all about, Now I have something to talk to Jason about. Our relationship's only going to grow. It's that's what it's about. I'm all about not slapping a logo on something and calling it a day. It's too easy.
But the key with that,
go ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
The key with that whole thing is, and both of you are right, just building off of what you're saying is now you're creating an experience, you're creating something that's, inspirational, something that's conversational, but your logo on it all of a sudden becomes like a sponsorship. This conversation, this experience, sponsored, brought to you by Thumbprint, brought to you by Promos East, And I think that's when all of a sudden it becomes relevant, because people then associate your brand with another feeling, another sense of excitement, something else that they're participating or experiencing. And that's when you're able to get exponential value out of branded merch.
I think one of the things that people miss too is when we do self promos, especially to the end user, we're showing them how they can use product. Like, I think people miss that distribution element of whatever item is that they get, right, or they're buying. A lot of people say, hey, I have I have a budget of X, I need these types of pieces. And it's like, well, how are you giving those away? Like, that's a big component of it. And I have to imagine with the platform and the distribution you guys are doing with Thumbprint, that conversation has come up, for you guys, because you're showing people how to do it. And so they're probably saying, hey, how do we do something like this for our company? Like, how do we, and it just is an easy segue. Same thing when we do our self-promo mailers and stuff. People are like, how do we make a kit like this to do that? Like, we're the example, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to kind of lead the way with how we do self-promo.
Yeah. And I would love to hear from you all what your unboxing experience was like from the moment you ordered the gear and you got emails and then the box showed up. All of our merch is, we put a hang tag on it with a QR code, and then we included an information card that talked about the charities and all that. So what did you all think of that?
Can I go first real quick? Because I was blown away. First off, you order it, and then it's like, we got your order, and like 10 minutes later, your order is shipped. Here's tracking. Here's when it's going to be delivered. And then you get it, and you get this really cool box that's not just a cardboard box. It's like designed. It's like, wow. I feel like I'm a celebrity here getting this really cool box. I know that sounds silly, but like, the box for this sweatshirt was nice. I want to keep it. And then, like I said, on the packaging on this, again, it's just really nice. This is something I want to keep. I don't want to throw this away. And I'll reuse this. I will reuse this. There's no doubt in my mind. So kudos to you guys. You guys hit the nail on the head with all of this. Great marketing campaign from start to finish. 100%. That's my thought.
Awesome. The website is extremely functional and easy to use. There's a lot of great information in there as you're sort of flipping through the merchandise and the charities listed for each of the causes. It's segmented, per vibe, so you click on the Be Bold vibe and then all the Be Bold products pop up, and it tells you what the charity is there and all that good stuff. So, functionality and all that was wonderful. Like Meg said, as soon as you ordered it, within 10 or 15 minutes for sure, there was an emailed receipt and tracking information, and it shipped and delivered much faster than what was anticipated, which was great as well. The one thing that I will say, and this is probably my error, because Meg, like I said, I think you have to click the button for the custom packaging. I didn't do that, so mine actually came in like a almost like a bubble mailer, but it's not a bubble mailer. It was like recycled newspaper. So the one thing I'll say was when I ripped that open, the newspaper kind of shreds up a little bit, and so made the shirt a little dusty. Okay. That was my experience. But
no, that's good. Yeah, we try to run this balance of not being wasteful. So we didn't use a giant box
for the sweatshirt, right?
For the sweatshirt. And yeah, we had to peg it to, I guess, I think a dollar value. But at a certain point, with smaller things, we didn't want to put in a giant box where things would rattle around and risk getting broken or messed up. So we put in a smaller mailer. But I'm noted about the packaging, the stuffing in.
It's exactly what I would have expected it to arrive in. Some type of smaller bubble mailer. Because you're right. There's no point in being wasteful at all. So it's exactly what I expected.
Cool. Good.
Steven, how about you?
Yeah, I was trying to get myself off mute. I have two different buttons. Mine was the same as yours, Jeff. But honestly, that's kind of that's what you would expect, right? I ordered one T-shirt, right? So it's like, it would have almost been silly if it came to something other than an envelope. Like it would have been wasteful from a shipping perspective, the dim weight stuff. But the order process and the website use was great. I have no complaints and no issues about that. Cool. It was awesome.
Good.
Yep. So Jason, Rich Graham asked, what kind of quantities did you start for each item when you ordered for the Vibe program?
I think we ordered about 100 of each item, each Vibe for each item. So we started off with, a decent quantity, and we know that, we plan on this campaign going for the long haul. We have all sorts of content that we keep on broadcasting. And of course, with all of that out there, we think this will be relevant well into the year. So we felt very comfortable just going a little longer on quantity, just not knowing, how do you know what vibe, everybody's going to choose what the most popular vibe is. And that's been interesting. And a question I get often from folks is, all right, well, what's the most popular vibe? and we've all been
that.
You were going to ask that?
Yeah.
So right now, Be Clutch and Be Bold are pretty neck and neck, and then right behind that is Be Kind.
It's hard. It's very hard. It was hard to decide. It was really hard to decide.
Yeah.
I like them all, but it came down to the tagline, I think, for me. But ultimately, that's just what's really cool about the whole thing, right? Because, here we have 4 people wearing 4 different vibes, and that was not planned. So anybody that's watching, this was not planned. Jason gave us the opportunity to go in, order whatever we wanted, and we all ended up with something different, which is really cool. So,
like a giant social experiment.
Yeah. Because we don't really know what he's wearing today with his plaid shirt.
Good effort.
Be Clutch.
Oh man! All right. Well, Meg, since you mentioned these nice pool noodles that came in those Promotions East package for the influencers, is this a good time to announce our gladiator style pool jousting event between you and I?
I think it is. And Steven, we said he could join us.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
I'm gonna advance to the championship automatically. I'll face the winner.
Yeah, it's a tournament.
Why don't we have like a gladiator, like a what's it called? Shoot, like when you like a March Madness type thing, the bracket.
American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so now you're getting more people involved. I like it. Okay, because see, if it's just between me and you, it's a lose-lose for me. Because if I win, I beat up a girl. If I lose, I got beat up by a girl.
I'll take her out. I'll take her out in the final round, Jeff. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think we should have like a bracket-style gladiator match at the Harris Pool at Promotions East. Let's do it. Sign up.
Yeah, I mean, Meg, if you want me to even up those eyes, I'm happy to do it for you.
Shut up. It's going down again. It's going down, but yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Do you guys have any other questions or comments for Jason?
Jason, just from when you told us about this in our content group, I was just blown away by everything that you guys did to put this together. It's amazing. It's intuitive. It's smart. It's catchy. It has the vibe. So good job. Just awesome. And I'm glad that you came on the podcast, and thank you for being one of our influencers too. So thank you. Absolutely.
It's my pleasure. I'm super excited about the Promo East campaign, and thank you for the kind words about our campaign. At the end of the day, it is self-promo, but we really just want to demonstrate to, our clients and prospects what can be done with branded merch. And we just love the support that we're getting. We love the fact that people are purchasing online and supporting these awesome causes. So thank you to everybody watching and listening who's gone ahead and made a purchase. You're supporting some great causes. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, so in the comments, again, Rich Graham came in and said that the charity tie-in is brilliant, and getting your customers to pay for quote-unquote freebies is fantastic. So you're definitely doing something right over there. Again, that website is vibe.thumbprint.com, so go check it out and pick your vibe for sure. But with that being said, just really appreciate you guys tuning in, and thank the hosts for helping out and being there. But this wonderful broadcast was brought to you by our good friends over at TechWeld, like I mentioned earlier. So look, they've got some great kitting options. So they've got this whole Come Kit Around With Us initiative to push kits. They've got 8 different stock packaging for their kits. They've got an EVA bag, a PVC tent pouch, PVC tube, the organza bag, pillow pouch, BTL 202, which is a 30-ounce tumbler, and they've also got a retro lunchbox, which is awesome. Not many players in the industry are focusing too heavily on kits, which really allows them to hone in on the market with these products and expand upon their already vast kit line. And since I mentioned those retro lunchboxes, we might as well talk about their full color process lunchboxes as well. Look, whether it's a decal imprint or full color imprint, TechWeld's full color capabilities on their lunchboxes definitely sets themselves apart from the pack. Visit techweld.com now to see their full color capabilities on their lunchboxes. So just remember to think TechWeld for promotional product needs. TechWeld's a leading supplier of promotional products with a huge inventory of made in the USA items available to help distributors grow their bottom line today. Visit techweld.com. That's TEKWELD.com. And check out their drinkware, sanitizer, kit options, and much, much more. And again, tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Meg, you've done an outfit change while I was reading the ad. That's awesome. That's very bold of you. Very bold of you.
Very bold.
Red is your color.
Yeah, I love it. I love red.
Yeah. Jason, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you coming on and giving us a little education on self promos and how to do it the right way.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Jeff, Meg, and Steven, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take care.
Maybe.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.